Hello, good morning. Good morning, students. So, I will be making a summary for primary classification to key classification for you to understand easily the 7 classification of fingerprints. In the book, we have 6 classification, but I separate the 2 secondary classification by capital letter and small letter. That's why it became 7 classification. Anyway, they're just the same. So first, before you proceed to the primary classification, you have to know the 4 stages to attain the primary classification. So first, this just happened yesterday. Someone asked about what is finger 1 and finger 2. Oh my god, we are already on the last classification and yet you do not know what is your finger 1. Okay, so first we have the pairing. So we have 10 fingers here. So first pair, we have to begin on your right hand. So first is your thumb and then index, middle and ring, little and then thumb of your left hand, and then index and then your middle finger, and then ring and little finger of your left hand. So we have now 1 and 2, that is the first pair, 3 and 4, that is the second pair, and 5 and 6 is the third pair, 7 and 8 fourth pair, and then 9 and 10 your fifth pair. So yun, finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4, finger 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So those are the pairing. Next, assigning numerical value to whirl only. Okay, always remember that only whirl has numerical value. For loop and arches, no numerical value. So if the given are whirl, though automatic, we have the numerical value. So first, okay, I will just make an illustration for everyone. So just imagine that this box, ulitin ko lang. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is your right hand on the upper part, and then left hand, and then we have pair 1 dito. Ito yung thumb, index, middle, ring, and little. And then your left hand, we have your thumb, and then your index, middle, ring, and little. So first pair, we have the numerical value, which is 16, 16, 8, 8, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, 1. It doesn't mean that all given problem or given pattern has a numerical value. No, I just mentioned a while ago, only the whirl has a numerical value. So example, if this is central pocket loop, it has a numerical value of 16. Double loop, it has a numerical value of 16. Accidental whirl, it has a numerical value of 8. And then another one is X, accidental whirl, we have another numerical value of 8. And then if we have plain whirl, we have this, since this is your finger 5, we have a numerical value of 4. And then double loop here, another 4. And then central pocket loop, 2. And then accidental whirl, 2. And then we have plain whirl, 1. Another plain whirl, 1. Do not forget the pre-established 1/1. Okay? So, always remember the given numerical value for every pair, but only where has a numerical value. How about if this are not whirl. Like for example, this is tinted arc, radial loop, ulnar loop, tinted arc. Same dun sa baba. Well, just the same. Here on the left hand, it has a numerical value since the given are loop, a whirl. But here, we have tinted arc, radial loop, ulnar loop, and tinted arc. There are no numerical value for this. So if we are going to do the primary classification, we have to know first the numerator. So how are we going to know the numerator? So we have again the first part of the pair, which is the denominator. So this is the first part of the denominator. We have finger 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So that is your denominator. For finger 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, that is your numerator. So how are we going to do that? So we will answer FPC. We are going to look for the numerator. So we have to begin in your left thumb. So this is your finger 6. So this is double loop. So it has a numerical value of 4. I will go back again for the numerical value. 16, 16, 8, 8, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so for double loop, we have 4. Now, no numerical value, plus 2, 6. No numerical value, plus 1. 7, plus the pre-established fraction, which is 1 over 1. Okay, so ilan? Ulitin natin. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is your primary classification under your numerator. And then denominator, no numerical value. This is central pocket loop, so it has numerical value. We have 2, no numerical value, and then plus 1, 3, no numerical value, plus the given fraction or the pre-established fraction. So we have again 2, 3, plus 1, 4. So that is your primary classification. Allah, sorry, hindi pala nakikita doon. Okay, sige, yon. Ako na lang mag-adjust. Okay, next is your secondary classification by capital letter. So we have R over C. We are just going to copy your symbol in your index finger. So itong binigay kong problem is already a symbol that was already blocked out. Hindi na ako naglagay ng mga shortcut na pattern. Diniretso ko na lang sa blockings. Okay? And then next, after your secondary classification by capital letter, we will proceed to your secondary classification by small letter. So, anong fingers ang involved? We have your middle finger, ring finger, and then little finger. The same dito sa left hand. Involved finger are your right hand and left hand. So, we have, this is radial loop. So, the involved pattern in your secondary classification by small letter is ATR, which is arc, tinted arc, and radial loop. So since this is a radial loop, we will write it here, and then here dash, ulnar loop and ulnar loop and whirl are represented as a dash for secondary classification by small letter. So T, just copy it, but use small letter because we are on the secondary classification by small letter. Next is X. Okay, so this is dash, dash, dash. Don't forget your thumb since this is included in your secondary classification by small letter. So this is T. This is done or exhibit in the right side, left side. after the primary classification, which is the numerator and the denominator. So T, there's no need for you to put a dash here because that is already understood na it does not belong to small letter. Okay, next is the sub-secondary classification. So, walang number na nakalagay dyan. So, automatic lalagyan muna natin ha. So, 17, O, 18, M, 7, M, 7, okay. Oh, okay. Now, we will proceed to your sub-secondary classification. So, under the sub-secondary classification again, okay, ayusin lang natin. Hindi ko maayos. Sige, wait lang. I-discuss ko muna yung sa sub-secondary classification. Under the sub-secondary classification, we are going to follow the symbol that is given within the given fingers. So so involved finger here on the sub-secondary classification is your index, middle, and ring. So in your index finger, we have the counting, which is 1 to 9 for the ridge count of 1 to 9, that is inner. If 10 or more, that is outer. And then in your middle finger, if 1 to 10, that is inner. And then 11 or more, that is outer. And then for your ring finger, 1 to 13 is inner, 14 and above is outer. For world, there are no problem with that because we are just going to copy the symbol, the outer meeting or inner. But if the given is tented arc, plain arc, then represent it as a dash. Okay, so we will now answer this one. So this is 17, so that is, erase ko muna itong mga numerical. Okay, para makita natin. Wait lang. Okay, okay na. Okay, sige. Adjust lang. Okay, so this is, okay, 17, so that is outer, and then 18, outer, 7, inner, of course, and then this, just copy, outer, and then meeting, and then meeting. So that is the sub-secondary classification by small letter. Okay, maghanap muna ako ng pagpapatungan ko dito. Kailangan natin iayos. Okay, next. Hindi pa rin talaga makita. O, ayun. Ganyan na lang. Para sabayan. Okay, sige, continue. Okay, for the major classification, wala tayong makitang number doon. Since that is tented arc, we will represent it as a dash. And then doon sa double loop, we will just copy the symbol. So the major classification is outer. And then next is the final classification. So sa final classification, we have a rule there. So ito yung exemption that we are going to, I just told you from the beginning that loops are being counted and the whole are being ridge traced. But the final classification and the K classification are exempted. So with the absence of the loop, we will count the whirl, assuming that is ULNAR. If whirl are given in your little finger and then thumb, or there are no well, I will just explain later yung K classification. Sa final muna tayo. Okay. So under the final classification, wag na kayong magtaka kung bakit may number yung 7, kasi nga that is the exemption. Since the K final classification yan, we need a number para magkakaroon tayo ng final classification. That's why exemption ang ating final classification in the ridge counting of loop. Kasi I always tell you that whirl are being ridge trace and loops are being ridge count. So this final classification is achieved by ridge counting the loop and or whirl from the two little fingers. But for us not to be distracted, isa lang na finger muna, ha? Okay, so yeah, sige. The results of the count is exhibited or placed at the extreme right of the classification line. So meaning to say, like for example, ito dito sa taas, ayan, para sa bayan. Okay, since this is tented arc, hindi siya whirl, hindi siya loop, then tingnan natin yung nasa baba. So that is plain whirl. So meron siyang 7. So lalagay natin yan dito sa baba. So that is your final classification. If ever that the given is loop and the number there is the ridge count for ulnar loop is 8, then yung radial loop ang priority natin because we prioritize the right little finger. Wag na nating ikopya yung 7. Okay? No need na. Since radial loop naman na yung nasa right little finger. Okay? But the answer for this is ganyan na. Yan, may 7. That is the final classification. And then for the K classification, okay, listen everyone. Para hindi kayo malito kung ano ang difference ng final classification and K classification. Okay, for the K classification, well, may I acknowledge my mentor, Dr. Mike Taguadamor. Thank you very much, ma'am, for teaching us the classification of fingerprint. Okay, for K classification, this is done by exhibiting the ridge count of the first loop in the classification line. If there is no loop but whirl, take the first loop and count the ridges assuming an ulnar loop. If it is arc, represent it as a dash. Okay, take down note. There is no denominator, only numerator. Okay, so here, so since this is tented arc, hindi kayo mag-i-stop doon because the involved finger in the final classification is we have the thumb, index, middle, and ring. So we will proceed. So this is your K classification, 17. So ilalagay natin ang 17. So that is the answer for this problem. If you have questions and recommendations, you can comment down. Okay, that is the answer for the problem. Thank you very much and God bless everyone. Okay, thank you. Ang hirap ng online class. Gagawin na ang lahat para hindi nawawala na ng landas ang mga pag-asa ng bayan. Okay, God bless everyone and thank you very much.